This story begins in a magnificent royal palace in England, and the year is 1898. In this palace, a very grand and expensive party is being shown, where England's richest and most respectable people are present. Here we see Greta Bell, who is standing near a window and looking outside. Actually, Greta does not like the lifestyle of rich people or their fake laughter and boring talks about marriage at all. She looks at the men present there, who are only talking about their money and status. It feels as if Greta is suffocating there. Greta tells him, "I don't want all this. I cannot live trapped in this cage. I need to breathe." Greta's father is a very influential man. He explains to Greta, "You are a girl. You should find a good husband and settle down." But Greta insists. She says, "Right now I want to study. I want to see the whole world. But for now, please send me to Tehran. Uncle is the last Salih's ambassador there. I will stay with him, but I will not stay here in England." Finally, the father has to bow down before his stubborn daughter and agrees. Greta packs her luggage. After reaching Tehran, Greta feels as if she has come into a new and magical world. The culture there is completely different. The markets, the people, and even the air have a different fragrance, which Greta likes at first sight. Now she reaches the embassy, where her uncle and aunt live. They give Greta a warm welcome. But even in the embassy, the same England-like environment exists. Greta tells her uncle that she wants to go outside. She wants to see Iran and meet its people. Her uncle explains to her that going outside is not safe. But for Greta's happiness, he assigns a secretary. This secretary's name is Henry Cadogan, who is a very smart, handsome, and adventurous kind of man. When Henry meets Greta for the first time, he is shocked by her intelligence. After this, Henry takes Greta around Tehran. Both of them ride horses and go far away from the city. They visit old ruins, mountains, and desert areas of Tehran. Henry shows Greta ancient forts there and tells her the history behind them. Greta listens to him very attentively. Henry also teaches Greta the Persian language and recites the poetry of the famous Persian poet Hafiz to her. Greta really likes this quality of Henry, that he is not boring like other men, but an explorer like her. Slowly, Greta and Henry start coming closer to each other. They sit for hours talking about poetry and history. They realize that they are made for each other. Both of them love adventure and freedom. One day, they're sitting near an old tower of silence. Henry looks into Greta's eyes and proposes to her. He puts his hand in his pocket and takes out an old coin, which is a historical coin. He says, "I don't have an expensive ring to give you, but I want to marry you. This coin is the most precious thing to me. Will you marry me?" Seeing this, tears come into Greta's eyes. She considers that coin more precious than any diamond. She happily says yes and hugs Henry. Both of them start dreaming about their new life. After this, Greta writes a letter to her father in England. In that letter, she praises Henry and tells him that she wants to marry him and asks her father for permission. Greta hopes that her father will agree. But after some time, her father's reply arrives. After reading the letter, Greta's face falls. Her father has strictly refused the marriage. He has written that he made inquiries and found out that Henry is a gambler and drowned in debt. Such a man can never keep you happy. I cannot give my daughter's hand to such a man. Greta cries a lot after this. She goes to Henry and shows him her father's letter. After reading it, Henry feels deeply ashamed. He confesses that he gambled in the past, but now he has changed. Greta tells Henry that she must return to England so that she can convince her father face to face. She will explain to him that Henry is a good man. Henry tries to stop her because he is afraid. He says, "If you go, maybe you will never come back." But Greta promises that she will return. After this, Greta goes back to England and tries to convince her father. She insists a lot. For many months, she keeps trying to persuade him. But her father remains firm in his decision. One day, while Greta is having breakfast, she receives a telegram message from Tehran. She opens the telegram, and after reading it, the ground slips beneath her feet. She collapses right there. The message says that Henry has died. He jumped into the river and took his own life. Actually, Henry could not bear the sorrow of Greta leaving and the burden of his debts. He thought Greta would never return, and that is why he ended his life. Greta completely breaks down. She locks herself in her room and talks to no one. She feels that Henry died because of her. She considers herself responsible for his death and falls into depression. Now, 3 years pass. Greta has now become a changed woman. The romance inside her has died. She decides that she will never marry now. Instead, She will only travel and search for peace in the desert. After this, we are shown that Greta is in Amman, Jordan, preparing to go into the desert. The British officers try to stop her. They say that a woman alone cannot go into the desert. It is dangerous. The tribes are fighting among themselves. They will kill you or kidnap you. But Greta does not listen to anyone. She hires a local guide named Fateh. Fateh is a very loyal and wise man. Both of them set out into the great desert with camels, tents, and lots of food and water. On the way, they encounter the Bedouin tribe, who are the real owners of the desert. When they see Greta's caravan, they take out their weapons and surround them. At first, they are suspicious seeing a white woman and wonder what she is doing there. But Greta does not get scared. She steps forward and talks to them in their language. She says, "I have not come here to fight. I have come to understand your culture." She gives them gifts, which impress them. They invite Greta into their tent. They offer her tea and give her great respect. Greta tries to understand their culture. She writes about them in her diary and draws maps. She sits with them and listens to their history. The Bedouin people start calling her a respected lady. While traveling, Greta reaches an archaeological site where old cities are being excavated. Here she meets T. E. Lawrence, who is later known to the world as Lawrence of Arabia. Lawrence is a strange and humorous kind of man. He smiles after seeing Greta. A friendship develops between Lawrence and Greta. They talk deeply about the desert. Lawrence tells Greta, "You have not come here just to travel. You have come here searching for something you did not find in England. You have come here to find yourself." Greta remains silent after hearing this, because he is speaking the truth. After this, Greta goes to Damascus, Syria, to meet the British Council and get permission. There she meets Charles Doughty Wiley, an army officer and consul. Charles is a married man, but he is not happy with his wife. His marriage exists only in name. At first sight, Charles is impressed by Greta's courage, her knowledge, and the sparkle in her eyes. They spend a lot of time together. Charles explains to Greta that the desert is very dangerous and she should return. But Greta says, "I'm not afraid of danger. I am afraid of a normal life. I am afraid of those walls that imprison me." Charles becomes mesmerized by her words. Greta sets out on her journey again, this time wanting to go even deeper into the desert. Charles and Greta start writing letters to each other. Their letters are very emotional and poetic. A deep emotional relationship forms between them. Charles writes that he has fallen in love with Greta. Now Greta's next target is Hale City, located in the middle of Saudi Arabia, a very dangerous area. The Rashidi dynasty rules there, and going there is like inviting death because they do not like foreigners. The British officers strictly forbid Greta. They say a war is going on there, and she will be killed. But Greta does not listen to a single word and secretly leaves with her guide Fateh. At one place, some robbers surround them. They have guns. Seeing them, Fateh gets scared and says, "We will not survive today." But Greta fearlessly stands in front of their leader and looks him in the eyes. She says, "I'm not a friend of your enemy. I'm only a traveler." Hearing her fearless words, the robbers are shocked and let her go. Finally, they reach Hale City. The atmosphere there is strange, deserted, and frightening. Greta is taken to the emir's palace. But the emir is not there. He has gone hunting. The emir's family and the vizier keep Greta as a guest, but place her under house arrest. They think she is a spy working for the British government. Greta is kept in the women's section of the palace, where men are not allowed. She talks to the women there, tells them stories of England, and tries to win their hearts. Through those women, she sent her message to the emir. Greta is now trapped, but she does not lose courage. She uses her intelligence and meets the vizier. She explains that she belongs to a powerful family in England, and if anything happens to her, the British army will attack their city. This warning works. The emir's people get scared and allow Greta to leave. They send her with gifts, horses, and swords to maintain friendship. Greta returns alive. This becomes her greatest victory. She becomes the first woman in the world to return from there alive. After returning, she finds out that War I has started and the world has changed. The British army desperately needs Greta because she is the only one who knows the desert routes and tribes. Greta is called to Egypt, where senior officers and generals are holding meetings. Here she meets Lawrence again, and Charles is also present. Greta and Charles meet again with tears in their eyes. Charles tells her that he still loves her and cannot live without her. He says, "I will divorce my wife and we will marry once this war ends." Greta becomes very happy. She feels she has finally found her destination and will move on from Henry's grief. But fate has something else planned. Charles is sent to Gallipoli, a very dangerous front. Before leaving, Charles promises Greta that he will return and they will start a new life. Greta stays in Cairo, making maps and guiding the British Army on how to win over tribes. A few months later, while Greta is working in her office, an officer comes and gives her a letter. The letter is from Charles's wife. It is an official letter informing that Charles has died, killed while fighting on the battlefield. Once again, Greta is left alone. First Henry, and now Charles. Both loves are gone from her life. She understands that love and marriage are not written in her destiny. Her destiny is only the desert and travel. She wipes her tears and returns to her work, becoming even stronger. After this, we see that the war has ended and the Ottoman Empire has collapsed. The British and French governments are dividing the Middle East and creating new countries. Greta is present there and helps decide who will be king. She supports King Faisal and Abdullah so that Arab people get their rights and remain happy. What Greta did was something even men could not achieve. That is why people call her the Queen of the Desert. In the end, Greta stands again in the same desert where she started. She has grown old now. She stands alone in the desert, but does not look weak. Then it is written that Greta Bell spent her entire life in the Middle East and never married. She was buried in Baghdad, and even today, people there remember her and respect her. This story teaches us that if there is courage and passion, a person can change the world even alone. Greta proved that a woman is not weak. She can build and destroy empires. With this scene, the movie and this story end. So how did you like the explanation? Tell us in the comment box. Thank you for watching this explanation.